Hi everyone, this is Donna from Creative Pixie Designs and welcome to a Christmas in July video hop. I'm hopping along today with a bunch of other YouTube creators, all sharing handmade projects to provide you with some Christmas inspiration. For my card today, I'm going to be putting together a Christmas scene card using the adorable Christmas Kittens by Gerda Steiner Designs. I have my stamps lined up inside my MISTI, and I also have several pieces of Bristol Smooth cardstock. I'm going to be stamping my images out with VersaFine Onyx Black ink, but first I need to treat my panel with anti-static powder, and then I can go ahead and ink up my images and stamp that down, and then I will clear heat emboss my images. Here I'm just adding my clear embossing powder, and then I can melt the embossing powder with my heat gun. I hardly ever reach for my zig markers anymore, and I thought this was the perfect opportunity to grab those and color up some adorable images. I have sped up the coloring about 3.5 times, and I've only left the coloring in for one of the kittens. I will have all of the zig markers that I used over on my blog, which I have linked down below in case you're interested in checking that out. With zig markers, typically I will have two shades that I use. I use a dark color, which I add to the shadow areas. So anything that is underneath something or in a corner will typically have a shadow. Next, I will come in with a lighter shade and blend out just a little bit further into the image. And then I can take a clean water brush and blend out the rest of the color. Here, I'm not sure what I was thinking using a water brush because I have no control. I don't know how to control the amount of water coming out. Obviously, I know if I put pressure on the barrel, the water will come out, but I still have a really difficult time with the quantity of water that does come out, even when I think I'm not putting pressure on. So later, a little bit later, I do switch to my regular water brush. I'm just adding a couple of shades of green to that branch. And again, I just blend out the light shade to the edge of the stamp. I will mention that as with all my coloring, I do go over the images twice as it gives me like a better blend. With the zigs in particular, or really any water-based marker, I do let that first layer dry before I come in a second time to do any of the blending. And then I'll finish up the coloring and fussy cut my images once they're dry. For the background of my little scene, I started by die cutting a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock using the Portrait Snowfall backdrop by Fawn. I also die cut the Little Town Border by Fawn out of smooth white cardstock, and then I can begin my ink blending on the background panel. I'm using all distress inks today for this background, and I've kind of marked on my backdrop where it will be covered by the die cut, so I don't need to ink blend all the way to the bottom. I've started by laying down Tumbled Glass distress ink across the section of the panel that will be visible just at the top of the die cut. I kind of want to make it look like that the light is coming or is radiating from the little town behind my focal point images. The second shade I come in with is Salty Ocean, and this ink will cover the majority of the panel. I'm adding it to the sides of the panel as well as across the entire top, and then I do go over it a couple of times just to increase the intensity of the shade. Next, I'm grabbing the Tumbled Glass and I just go over the area where the two shades meet just to blend out any harsh lines and continue building the intensity. I'm adding Blueprint Sketch to just the very outer edges of the panel and just the very top of that panel. Again, I will build up the color and then come in with the other two shades, blending over any areas where the two colors meet just to get a smooth blend. And then finally, I'll finish off the panel by adding chipped sapphire just to the very corners of this panel. I have all of the pieces for this card and it's finally time to start putting the card together. I'm adding the Little Town border die cut to the ink blended panel and I'm just using liquid adhesive. Once I have that straight and in place, I can use my scissors to trim off anything that's hanging over. I felt like the scene needed just another little hill, so I die cut another panel using the stitched Hillside Borders die by Fawn, which I'm going to add to my panel with some foam adhesive for a little dimension, and then I can get working on my sentiment. I have a piece of red cardstock that I've treated with anti-static powder. And then I'm going to stamp out Meowie Christmas using Versamark ink, and then I can white heat emboss it and trim it down using my paper trimmer. So it wouldn't be a Christmas card without a little bit of glitter, and I'm using my Zig two-way glue pen, adding a little bit of glue to the top of the hills. Then I can come in with the Fawn Prisma glitter and pour that over for a little bit of sparkle. I'll shake off any excess and then just wait to let it dry. It is a little hard to see on camera, but in real life it looks very snowy and sparkly. Here I'm just cleaning off any of the loose glitter that didn't come off with the paintbrush. And then finally I can start adding my images. This first kitten I'm adding directly to the background with some liquid adhesive, but the other two images I do go ahead and add them using foam adhesive. And then I can just add the sentiment, also using foam adhesive, and finally finish off this card by adding some sparkle to the ornaments. I do adhere the entire panel to a standard A2 size top folding card base. So that will finish off my Christmas card. I hope you'll hop along to the next participant in this hop, which is linked down in the description below. Be sure to leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Like this video if you've enjoyed it, and consider subscribing to my channel for more content like this. Here's a couple of more videos that you may be interested in checking out after the hop. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I will see you next time.